Hi, I'm Nesu Namo, and I am the MIT class of 2025 class president. Saying that out loud is actually insane. But yeah, it is the end of the semester, and I thought that I would make a video summarizing all the shenanigans that I got up to. Okay, now not really, but if you do want to see more casual content, you can follow me on Instagram and be sure to check out my stories. I've now spent about 20 minutes just trying to figure out how I'm going to go about this video, and I've decided that I'm just gonna be chatting. Day 1. Wait, Nesu, isn't this video gonna take hours if you go through the semester day by day? I mean, that just seemed like a good way to start it, so we'll see how it goes. My official day 1 at MIT was the International Orientation Program, which I think just gave us the chance to meet other students and settle in a little bit before all the crazy started. And then eventually all of the other freshmen came for pre-orientation programs and regular orientation. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want to study? At least 20 times a day for a whole week. It was still fun though. Just getting to be in a new environment and chatting to as many people as possible is always a fun experience. Then came fraternity and sorority rush week. This was definitely a top 5 week for MIT freshmen because the fraternities literally treat us like royalty. It was just like a ton of free food, a ton of events to go to. Things like paintballing, jet skiing, a boat cruise, you know, just your regular Tuesday. Right. All of these events helped me connect with brothers who I might not have been able to connect with otherwise, and so I'm definitely glad that I got to be a part of them. But it's around about this time that we take it to the academics. So I took these classes at the beginning of the semester, and for the second half, 2 of those classes changed to these classes. And the best way to summarize how that went is, yo, you applied to this school because their academics are hard, right? So should you really be surprised that their academics are actually hard? But let me tell you about this beautiful thing we have called PNR. So essentially, freshmen fall at MIT, you do not get grades. Whether you get an A, B, or C, your transcript will only show that you passed the class. And if you end up not passing a class, there's just no record. It just didn't happen. The benefit of this is that it allows freshmen to settle into the college environment and the MIT workload without having the additional stress of grades. Okay. 1801 calculus and 801 physics. They definitely caused people a lot of stress, but they were good classes overall. 6001 and 0002, Intro to Computer Science and Intro to Data Science. I am probably not the first MIT YouTuber to say this, but 6001 is a horrible intro class. Essentially, if you had coded before, it's a really easy class, but if you hadn't really programmed before, it's definitely one of the classes that will make you say IHTFP, which is a beautiful MIT saying which stands for I hate this place. CMS 100, Introduction to Media Studies. I took this class because 1, I'm interested in media, and 2, it fulfilled my communication requirement. I don't particularly like writing, but this class showed me that writing about topics that you're interested in is not so bad. 6.902 A and B, more formally known as detail. You know, so you get classes where the content might be interesting, but the lecturer absolutely sucks, or sometimes it's the other way around. With detail, however, both the content and the lecturer are extremely exceptional. Blade Catelli teaches his 10-step design process to design any system, product, or anything that can be designed, which is everything. Definitely my favorite class this semester. Last but most certainly not the least is my freshman advising seminar, 2A16 Founders Journey. This class is right up there with detail, man. We essentially got to meet different entrepreneurs each week and get to learn a little bit more about their journey, and you can see a little bit of that in my day in the life video after you watch this video. This semester I also got to work with MIT Admissions as a content creator, which also helped me kick off my YouTube journey and has been one of the greatest experiences. I essentially just did Instagram story takeovers for the admissions page, covering all the different events that I attended, and also made videos for the admissions website. Okay, so there was one week where I just had abnormal levels of stress. This was the week before the deadline of MIT Sandbox applications. Sandbox is one of our main startup incubators, and if you're an MIT student, you can essentially pitch them your idea and they will throw money at you. Not really, but yes. And so what happens is, depending on how much money your team is applying for, there are different requirements for your application. And if I remember correctly, I applied for upwards of $8,000 for my startup. This made sense to me at the time because I had already developed the back end and the Android app client for my startup. Well, like most of it. To be fair, I don't even know what all of it is yet. Most of the stress came from the fact that I had limited time to complete a full application and a detailed pitch deck because I was applying for more than $5,000. But it paid off. I did end up getting into Sandbox with initial funding of $3,000, and the whole Sandbox ecosystem of entrepreneur mentors and entrepreneurship programs has helped accelerate my growth tremendously. If you do go to MIT and you are even just a little bit interested in entrepreneurship, I would highly recommend Sandbox. The last formal highlight of this semester was running for class president. It's actually crazy how it all unfolded, because while I had thought about it before, I only made my decision to run the day before petitions were due. We needed something like 125 signatures from our class to be able to run. So it was literally just me with my petition folder and pen trying to get signatures for the entire day. Looking back on the whole experience, it would definitely be easier to just go up to random people and be like, yo, are you a 25? And they say, yeah. And I say, yo, could you sign this for me? And then call it a day. But I took this chance to test if I actually knew as many people as I thought I knew. I did end up having to ask for signatures from people I hadn't spoken to before, but it was still a fun experience overall. Then elections and campaigning started, which for me were really the same as the petitioning process, just getting to know people, getting to speak to people and understand what they expect of a president. I did make some cool Vote for Nesu campaign cards, which had some of my favorite anime quotes on the back. My favorite being from Hunter x Hunter, you should enjoy the little detours to the fullest, because that's where you'll find the things more important than what you want. Jing Freaks. I believe that this quote really embodies the semester that I had, because it wasn't just academics or it wasn't just entrepreneurship. I took every single detour that came my way and managed to grow personally, professionally, and socially. This semester was really about getting to meet people, getting to do the activities that I enjoy, because if you're not having fun, what's the point? And a special shout out to all the people who made this a great semester, my friends here in the US or my friends and family back at home. And most of all, the best brotherhood on campus, Chocolate City. CC! Hi, it's me again. I think the right way to end this video was happy holidays.